Hey guys, I realize it's been quite some time since I made a video. Pretty much how all my videos start. But, you know, school and other stuff have, made it difficult. Whatever. But I realized that I've done videos on a lot of guns and accessories and, just stuff. But I haven't made a video on my personal M4, or my personal weapon. I've done one on my buddy's gun. I've done one on his sniper. I've done attachment updates, like things that I've gotten for my M4 over the years. But I haven't really, said here's what I've got in my gun and on my gun. This is what I did to it, and this is how it performs. So today I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and start off by saying the battery that I use. I use a Matrix 1600 mAh 9.6 mini type, mainly because the gearbox in here is all Matrix. So, mixing Matrix parts with Matrix parts, and consistency is key, everybody. But, I guess I'll just go ahead and start from the muzzle and work my way down. Right here I've got a kind of like a door breacher and skull basher kind of muzzle brake. Got it at a gun show. It's like $14 or something. It was custom CNC'd. Now it's designed for real steel AR, so I had to take a flash hider end off the plastic flash hider that goes on this gun normally, and I had to sand it down, make it perfectly level, and then glue this on, and it works fine. So works for me. And then outer barrel, and took the triangle post front sight off and changed it for a flip up MP7 style sight. I had these old sights laying around from a previous MP7 that I had sold. I guess I forgot to include the sights, which I didn't mind. But yeah, flip up front sight. I've got some silver rail guards here, UTG ergonomic rail covers. They just clip on and off. They're actually quite simple to get on and off. And then over here, I have them in black. And then underneath that, I have my Magpul AFG2. I like this quite a lot, especially with these rail guards on here. Makes it quite comfortable to hold and consistently shoot. And as you may have noticed, I have this USA red dot. Yeah, let's see who's it made. Yeah, it's made by it's a nice BSA red dot. I like it a lot. It's got 11 different settings for brightness. Seems a little ridiculous, but each brightness has a purpose. Granted, I normally keep it on around 8 or 9 for outdoors, and then around 7 to 6-ish for indoors. It works fine. Unfortunately, with this BSA red dot, you have to use a coin to adjust the location of the red dot. And that can be a bitch sometimes. But whatever. Now I've got this on a riser, mainly that sits between the wrist and the rear, what's it called? Upper receiver RIS. And yeah, I like I like having it on the riser, even though this back portion sticks out a bit. Mainly because I can still use the flip-ups and see through the scope perfectly if this does die. And plus, it's a lot easier. I can pretty much just walk around and be sitting normally rather than, conventionally. I'd have to look down a bit. I'd have to pull my cheek down. But now I can just be sitting upright, and I can still be looking through the dot, so I can shoot targets much faster. So I can be moving in a, in a walk and like a tactical pace, and then I can just start engaging right there. I don't have to look down my sights. Still got my mid caps, Still got my makeshift mag pulls because they work. I did a little bit of sanding in the mag well so that my mags would drop a lot easier. I like that a lot. I did some custom artwork to it again, except this time what I did was I repainted it all black, spray painted it. What did I do? Yeah, I repainted it all black with black spray paint, and then I went over and scratched out the outsider symbol from the game Dishonored. I think that's just a really intricate symbol, and it looks really cool. And yeah, I just think it's freaking cool. I mean, the outsider is a badass in that game. I mean, you get to play. I mean, Corvo is like, hey, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna slit your throat in your sleep. You're gonna have no idea I was there because I'm gonna freeze time and then like teleport over to you. Granted, Corvo's not the outsider, but fuck it. That's a different topic. And that's, you know, some of the reasoning behind the silver rail covers. Now I still have. This was in a set of 12, so I still have quite a few left over. I've got 6 more black rail covers. So yeah. And then on the other side, I've got, it says Revenge right there. Oh, yeah, I had it right the first time. Revenge. Mainly because Corvo went out for... He was on a revenge hunt. And then I scraped the paint off the bolt catch and bolt release, your choice, and the mag catch and mag release piece. I did a little bit of yellow on the fire selector, mainly because there's just a slight bit of like goldish yellow on Corvo's cloak. And I just like the yellow with the silver and the black. I mean, it looks good. And then right here it says Corvo Atano. Some say I'm obsessed. I just, you know, Corvo is just, he's a symbol of death in that game. He's more or less like, he's a full-blown character, but he's like, Corvo symbolizes death in that game. Death, or, depending on how you choose to play the game, resurrection. And I think almost every single one of those characters in that game is a symbol. Corvo is, oh, never mind, it's good. Corvo is like a symbol of death, and, you know, the Lord Regent is pretty much a symbol of, you know, power and eventually guilt. I forget his name, but there's another Lord who pretty much symbolizes regret, because in the mission that you're assigned to kill him, he's very remorseful when he realizes that Corvo is going to come kill him, or that you're going to come kill him. The Weepers symbolize, you know, like the proles, the working class that eventually died out and are now the outcasts of society. Dishonored was just such an amazing game. It's just so phenomenal that words can't even describe how amazing it is. And I'm probably going to go ahead and either play that, Assassin's Creed 3, or Medal of Honor Warfighter after I review this weapon. Maybe I'll do video game reviews in the future. I have tons of games. Back to the actual matter at hand, I've got a rear flip-up sight from an MP7, like I said before. Finally got a working charging handle. It's been eons since I've had one of these. Yes. Yeah. And now on the other side, I've wired it to the rear, and I have this little battery bag back here. Some people might say, well, why don't you just keep the pack box up there and save yourself some work and whatever. And mainly because I like to grip my guns all the way around for full control. I don't like having a pack box that goes out the side. But, you know, people say, oh, now you have a battery bag that sticks out the side of the back of your gun. Well, the back of this is pressed up against my shoulder, and no one's going to be looking right at this. They're going to be looking at my gun or at where I'm shooting. And mainly it keeps my distribution of weight. Right now, the muzzle and this front is very heavy. It's very front heavy. As soon as I put a battery in, it starts to even it out. And you might be thinking, oh, a battery doesn't weigh that much. No, it doesn't, but you do feel the difference. So yeah, you just unclip it. Slip in the battery of your choice. Mini types fit the best in this pouch. And then you just clip it back over. And you just plug it in. Granted, I usually have the battery turned around the other way so that this is inside the pouch itself, so there's no Tamiya connectors that are poking out. Speaking of which, I need to wire it to Dean's. I've been meaning to do that for a while, but whatever. Yep. Here, I'll plug this in and let you hear it. I mean, I think I did a pretty good job on shimming it. I mean, you just hear that first pinion gear go turn, so I need to probably fix that up a bit. The bevel gear is probably sitting just a tiny bit too low, so I might need to raise that up by like the smallest freaking margin. But yeah, you pretty much just hear the piston hitting the cylinder head and the ringing of the spring. Fuck you, I think I did a good job. Now, I think this battery's practically dead, but let's see how fast this thing shoots. Alright. Yeah, if you didn't already tell, I did. Oh, one last thing for externals before I move on to internals. I added this little jury-rigged one-point system. I do have a one-point sling, but well, it's not mine, it's my buddy's. So it's, I occasionally use it, but I like this mainly because it's a lot more secure, it's shorter in length, and the gun doesn't bounce around and wobble and shit when I put it down. But what I do is on my vest I have this section of moly, and it's very, very strong. Like, the fabric hasn't ripped yet, and I've done this in about maybe what, like 8 times. And all I do is I clip it around the moly, and I can be shooting, I can be engaging targets, all walks of life, and then I can just drop my gun down. Don't have to worry about it. It doesn't wobble around a whole lot because it's on a smaller leash, unlike the one point where it can jostle side to side and crap like that. But yeah. On the inside, I've got a. Is it gonna sit? Is it gonna do it? I guess it's rear heavy. No, fuck it. But inside I have a high-speed motor. Not really. It's not really a high-speed motor. It's just like I didn't go for maximum speed or maximum torque or anything like that when I, picked the parts for this. High-speed guns tend to be very, very unreliable, and guns that shoot 500 FPS tend to shatter after a magazine or two. So I went right for the butter zone. I went for around like 16 rounds per second, 15 to 16 rounds per second instead of like some of the other stuff that guys do, like 20 to freaking 30. I've seen some people do. And I'm sitting right around the butter zone with FPS, so right around 350, which is fantastic in my opinion. It works great for CQB. I can get rounds down range quickly, but I can also switch to semi and know that those rounds are going to travel quickly instead of being, forced to dial my hop up and just, fucking spray and hope that one BB kind of falls down and hits a guy and he actually calls himself out. So I've got, like, it's not the standard motor that came with it. It's just like a, it's just kind of like a matrix, almost standard, almost torque up, almost, it's like a mixture between all three. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it works great for me. And then on the in the gearbox, I have a matrix gearbox because the Javelin gearbox was just absolute crap. Like, I basically bought the gun for the steel externals because it was so goddamn cheap. And, I mean, people might say, oh, well, you put enough money like a KWA, or why don't you just get a KWA and not have to spend any money upgrading it? Well, that makes sense, yeah. If I had $350 at the time, I didn't. I only had like $180, and I wanted to get an M4, so I got an M4. I got an M4 now, and I've upgraded it, and I can call this my own gun. I've built this weapon almost from the ground up now. There's the body, the buffer tube, no, sorry, not even the buffer tube. The body, the rails, the barrel, and that's it, are all left from the, and the stock, are all left from the Javelin. So pretty much everything, I actually did get a new buffer tube. The buffer tube and the muzzle brake are the only two external features on this gun that came with the Javelin. I mean, yeah, everything except for the muzzle and the buffer tube came with the gun. Yeah, okay, I had that right the first time. But, I mean, I got to build my own gun. I got to pick parts to make it how I wanted it to perform, not something that's standard like, say, a KWA. Well, that's not really standard because, you know, only the people who are so seriously into airsoft and they hate on people who try to get into the sport but don't buy KWAs and. People really suck. If you're one of those people who's like, just get a KWA or a Classic Army right off the bat, like, don't even go to Sports Authority or anything like that, just get a KWA, you're fucking stupid. Mainly because players who are new to Airsoft, one, don't have tons of money, two, they might not like the sport. So if they shell out $20 for a spring pistol and they get to plink some cans and screw around with some friends and have some wars, and they like Airsoft, and then they start to build up. I've already got a video about this, whatever. Yeah, but back to the gun. So internals, new gearbox, better wiring, low resistance wiring. We got a new hop-up unit. New inner barrel, new bucking, red dot, angled foregrip, all my rail covers. I mean, everything in here is basically custom parts. Not custom parts, but parts that didn't come with the Javelin. And that's why I've held off making a video for this gun, mainly because it's not really a gun you can purchase on the market anymore. I mean, not anymore, not at all. You couldn't purchase this gun on the market. But, yeah, that's pretty much my M4. Oh, I've also got a grenade launcher over there, and a 5,000 round box mag, and I've got 8 of these mid caps. Mainly because my buddy bought, I had 4, and my friend bought 4, and, he doesn't always airsoft when I airsoft, and he says I can use the mags. So if you watch my previous video where I said, oh, I don't need 8 mid caps, that's just a bunch of mid caps, and you're thinking, well, now he has 8 mid caps. I didn't buy them, so it's not like I wasted my money or anything. But I do take them out because, you know, sometimes mid caps have occasional feeding problems, or, you know, you need more ammo, especially when your gun shoots like that. Oh, and the trigger is almost like a match trigger. Like it's not a, you know, classified match trigger. Like it's not, I forget what it is, but there's just some trigger out there where you can like change the amount of pressure required. This is basically just like, it's not an interchangeable pressure, but it's very low. So rather than like, you know, say a couple pounds of trigger pull, it's just like it's a really light trigger pull. But, yeah. That can be a bitch to get in sometimes because the mag catch is kind of bent like this rather than being perfectly straight, so the mags have a tendency to hold a little bit more, so that's why I went and sanded it down a bit so that it wouldn't, you know, hold as well. But I already told you about that. This video's over. Go watch some of my other videos. Go watch new videos that I'm going to upload. Well, you can't watch those yet, but